Six industries that will boom after the global pandemic. This global pandemic has sent the whole world reeling. Life as we know it took a turn, and we found ourselves in a new land of face masks, social distancing, and uncertainty. Teachers scrambled to teach their kids 100% online. Companies scrambled to get their employees working from home where possible. And the healthcare system scrambled to accommodate, well, a pandemic. While numbers continue to surge and sway like the tide, we can see the needle slowly pointing back to, dare I say the word, normal? Normal may look different than what we knew it to be, but anything is better than the wave of fear and concern that has seemed to permeate since the beginning of the pandemic. We're steadily moving away from that wave, and now we're looking ahead to a time where we can rebuild. Thank goodness. Unfortunately, some industries have been hit hard by the effects of this pandemic and need time to regroup before they can be back in full swing. Others, though, have seen a surge in their numbers, sale numbers that is. Some industries are poised to make a comeback as soon as the dark cloud has passed. Some will ride the wave of their sudden success well after the dark cloud is gone. Once this pandemic has subsided, these are the industries that are going to explode. Number 1, the virtual meeting and collaboration industry. Before the pandemic hit, video conferences, meetings, and even hangout sessions weren't all that common. But once the shelter-in-place orders came through, video conferencing was one of the few options, if not the only option, many companies and organizations had to stay connected. The company Zoom, in particular, has made its mark in the world thanks to the pandemic. They saw their stock prices surge by over 100% in just 2 months. Other industry providers scrambled to keep up, with Microsoft Teams and Google Hangouts offering more features and improving their systems. Luckily for them, the video conferencing culture may be here to stay. Most companies, even big ones such as Facebook, believed that it wasn't feasible to have their staff working from home, or that productivity would fall if employees worked in a home-based office. Well, according to Forbes, a California-based company survey has found a 47% increase in worker productivity since the pandemic began. Between the high productivity, reduced overhead for office building maintenance, and the infrastructure in place to accommodate working from home, companies are likely to keep their employees home, which means a continued high demand for virtual collaboration. Number 2, cybersecurity. Along with the surge of virtual meetings, remote access, and new or added systems, comes the need to keep sensitive information secure. Enter cybersecurity. While this industry was growing before the pandemic began, there's a new sense of urgency and demand in the market. Hackers are taking advantage of the overall vulnerable state of our world, even posing as the World Health Organization to reel people into phishing scams that compromise their data security. And with many companies moving their services online, they are even more susceptible to scams and security breaches. Many businesses are seeing the gravity of the situation as time goes on, and are likely to make significant investments in their cybersecurity measures. Even when the pandemic has subsided, the threat of hackers will be very real, and cybersecurity services are the front line of defense. Number 3, online learning and education. Teachers everywhere had to become online professors overnight, and parents had to become hands-on educators in the same amount of time. Thanks to the hard work and dedication of both parties, online education is working and may be here to stay, at least to some capacity. Hybrid learning, with some days in school and some days at home, is in trial right now at many North American schools. The success of those programs will largely determine the future of online versus in-person education. It's not just school children and college students who are riding the wave of online learning. Many people are using their newfound free time to learn a new skill, hobby, or even language. Duolingo, a popular language learning app, saw a global increase of 108% in global users during the first 3 weeks of the pandemic, and the increase surged to 148% in the US alone. Many people are taking kindly to the thought of learning online, so this industry may see a steady growth even beyond the pandemic. Number 4. Grocery and food delivery. As the pandemic took hold, people were faced with the harsh reality that the most mundane tasks were now considered dangerous. Not the least of these was grocery shopping. Many major grocery chains already offered pickup options, but still struggled to keep up with the sudden demand. Since then, most grocery stores and restaurants have adapted and now offer delivery and pickup options to help people maintain access to the food they need and love. Consumers may have been wary at first, but the convenience and safety won them over. E-commerce is booming, even in the food and beverage industry, and the trend is expected to continue. It's gotten some experts wondering if online grocery stores and distribution centers will move to 100% online in the future. Will you be picking up your groceries from a temperature-controlled service kiosk? Will you take your bags from the hands of an AI robot? Only time will tell. Number 5. Healthcare and telehealth services. It's evident that this global pandemic crisis has shed light on the current state of healthcare services worldwide. It's reaffirmed the need, desperate need in some cases, for investments in patient-focused pharmaceuticals and healthcare equipment. Though there are still violent ebbs and flows with demand currently, governments at the federal, state, and local levels will undoubtedly see the value in protection against future pandemics. The attention of investors will closely follow the attention of the government, and this industry will skyrocket. During this uncertain time as the world grapples with this pandemic, people were afraid to visit medical offices for fear of being exposed to someone carrying the virus, a perfectly valid concern. In response, many healthcare providers turned to telehealth and virtual doctor's visits to give their patients access to healthcare. In the US, the use of telehealth resources increased by 50%. With laws, policies, and comfort now in place, telehealth has nowhere to go but up. We've come to our 6th and final industry that will boom after the pandemic. But before we get there, consider subscribing. And don't forget to ring that notification bell. And if you like this content, hit that like button and comment below. Number 6. Online fitness. Even before the pandemic began, the fitness industry was valued at nearly $100 billion. And it's bulked up even more since then. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Since many gyms and health clubs were forced to close their doors, for the time being, fitness buffs turned to the internet for their daily dose of exercise endorphins. Peloton, Beachbody On Demand, Nike Training Club, all of these online fitness platforms saw a surge in downloads and new users. To give you an idea, Chris Hemsworth app, Center, experienced a 300% increase in downloads during the second month of the pandemic. While there will be plenty of die-hard gym rats eager to get back to their fitness facilities, many others have found that home workouts are much more comfortable and convenient for them. Casual exercisers and fitness fanatics alike have found a newfound love for working out at home since they have their coaches and trainers right in the palm of their hands or up on their screens. There's an advantage to working out at home, and now more than ever, there's an industry to support it. Thanks for watching Cerebral Life, the channel where you learn more and improve your life. See you next time!